Vechain's price action for the VET token has surged by over 21% since the 16th of August and is showing signs of heading towards its longer-term targets. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about the VET price action on the daily and weekly timeframes, showing where I think things are heading on a more macro scale. As I get into today's video, smash that like button if you're new, subscribe, and let's jump into the charts. So here we have Vechain's VET token paired up with USDT, and we're on the 1-day Binance chart. And as you can kind of see, we've had a fantastic run since that low that we had up here at 2.138 on the 16th of August. This surge was at 21.89%, finishing off up there on the 23rd of August. So in the span of 1 week, we saw a 21.89% surge. At the point of recording right now, you can see that yesterday's candle came up to the 50 SMA and we failed to get a close above it. But we did, of course, close above the EMA, the 50 EMA. So that's coming in at 2.550 on the EMA and 2.588 on the SMA. And at the moment, you can see the price is trying to figure out, are we going to break out from here or are we going to be breaking down? So what we're looking for from a trading point of view is another closed position above that 50 SMA to kind of get confirmation. We're going to be looking for that because this is where the long position potentially comes on in with a tight stop loss lower than there, 50 EMA, and of course take profit is going to be up in our targeted range up here. So we'll be looking for take profit between the 2.759 and 2.927, which is our targeted range to complete out a 3-wave structure, which we'll go ahead and show you just here from our August 5th low. From our August 5th low, guys, we have actually rallied up 37.88%, and this is a 3-wave pattern that we're looking to kind of finish off just up here. Now, our targeted range between 2.759 and 2.927 is just short of the 200 EMA. The 200 EMA, of course, is our resistance right now. Okay, this was an area that we were consolidating on quite aggressively from a previous support run into a bearish one, unfortunately. So this is where we're likely to see the next pocket of resistance before taking a bit of a tumble to the downside. Now, do we want to see that move to the downside play out? No, not really. We obviously want to kind of see big bullish breaks to the upside, but I don't realistically think that we're going to see that. I think that unfortunately the market is more in a bearish position than in a bullish one, and that's going to remain that's going to be in a more bearish one than the bullish one for the most part for probably for the next few weeks or so. And we are, of course, looking to the Fed over in the US for cutting their interest rates, and that historically has had a negative impact on the stock market and potentially will have an impact on the Vechain's price action as well. So we've got to bear in mind a lot of the fundamental things that are going on. Now, until then, and until September, we're probably going to see more of this kind of push to the upside. I don't think it's necessarily finished just yet. You can see oversold on the smaller timeframes, but overbought on the larger timeframes. So I'm still looking for this move higher. And this move, we are looking at 27.59 to 29.27. After that, I would be looking for the market to kind of cool off more aggressively. From the current price action, we're talking about another 7.9 to about 14%. Okay, so we haven't yet finished with these moves. Those moves are still very much playing out, and we just need to be mindful over how we get there, because I don't think it's going to necessarily be straight lines. Now, from our smart money concepts, we can see that we're in a bearish structure. We haven't broken that. Nothing here has changed from that. So this entire Y-wave move would still fall within the parameters of a bearish structure, meaning that things could, of course, take a bit of a nasty turn and a bigger, deep move in price action. Now, on the daily time frame, you may have noticed that this is a wave 2. Okay, so all of this is just corrective action over everything that's been going on. And for anyone who understands what I've been talking about with our members and the member AMAs, and when it comes to all of the Discord alert notifications for buy zones and all that kind of stuff, for me, value is seen in the Vechain's price action. Anything lower than 2.698 to the 1.5 cents. This yellow box area right here is the typical wave 2 retracement, and this is the area that we want to be dollar cost averaging and building out positions, because it's where I think the best amount of value is going to be in the next big surge. Obviously, trying to pick just one price to buying is incredibly difficult. But when you have a dollar cost average approach, you can appreciate that things might have dips and have surges, and you can trade in and out. But ultimately, dollar cost averaging every dip that you have on the VeChain price action allows you to dollar cost average a really strong position. And so anywhere in that price action, in my opinion, between 2.698 and 1.5 cents is going to be the area for kind of really big accumulative purchases, in my opinion. Now, this is a part of a 5-wave move to the upside that I've been talking about for some time, right? We had that initial 5-wave surge from the lows of 1.318 up to the high that we had at 5.5 cents. This is the initial cooling off. This is what happens. You see this even in like the historical price movements for Bitcoin, right? From December 2018 through to the June, July of 2019. Fantastic surges to the upside, only to be met by the kind of wave 2, the big pull to the downside ahead of the fantastic bull market. Okay, and we're seeing the same again. 2025 is going to be a fantastic bull market for VeChain's price action, and everything that happens up until the end of this year is going to present itself with some great accumulative opportunities ahead of that next big run to the upside. Now, as you can see here, my kind of conservative range targets initially on this first pump to the upside is going to be 8.2 to 11.8, 1.618 gets hit at 20 cents, and that's how I think we get out towards this kind of 32 to 77 cents target range. Okay, if I bring this up into a weekly time frame, it shows you all of these key areas to be focusing in on, right? We have the 0.618 to the 786. These Fibonacci areas are major areas where we can see the price action kind of getting rejected or finding and rallying on support. Okay, so 32 to 77 cents is this first key area for VeChain's price action to find some resistance, okay? And that is why I'm thinking that we're either going to see a really big run up to and past the 32 cents area, or we're going to initially see this as kind of like the rejection range, pull back, and then the 5th wave taps into their slightly higher ranges, okay? Not a lot to be seen just yet because we need to see how that next big run works for the structures of everything. But for me, this is kind of where we're currently tracking on VeChain's price action, and it's looking very, very good. Of course, there's the wild card, the possible really big bullish kind of scenarios where $2.35 to $8, that they're unrealistic numbers. They're not likely to happen in a single bullish market, but we can, of course, see some pretty good accumulative runs for VeChain's VET token in the coming months, right? We're talking 2025. We're not saying it's going to happen at the latter part of 2024. So we want to be very mindful that everything on the price action of VeChain is actually kind of going along quite nicely. It's going as planned. And if we do hit that targeted range, I expect another opportunity. Okay, so we'll look for this push to the upside, and I still look for another opportunity for dollar cost averaging because I don't think the wave 2 is finished yet, and there's no good clean reason to think that that has. We can take a look here that basically we're in a downward trend that hasn't been broken. We're still lower than the daily 200 EMAs and so forth. So we're still in the accumulative phase. We haven't broken out of that accumulation just yet. And I think we're going to have some fantastic opportunities to continue building that out before we get into those next really, really big runs to the upside. Okay. So for VeChain price action, it's looking good. I don't think there's anything to be concerned with. We've got some great runs over 21% in a very short period of time. We haven't quite finished that structure, in my opinion. We've still got more to the upside to go, but once we are complete, we will be looking to drop back down into some really good dollar cost averaging areas, in my opinion, before we get into the 2025 bullish market. You guys can let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Where do you sit? With that, join us on our free Discord server linked in the description. If you haven't done so yet, check out my second channel over here where I go through the Cardano technical analysis.